Welcome to the Activated Story Theater's 122nd podcast.
This episode, we bring you the story of the husband who was to mind the house. A story from Norway.
Hi there, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And together we are the Activated Actors,
We are coming to you from Attleboro, Massachusetts.
which is just outside North Attleboro, Massachusetts.
It may even be close to South Attleboro, Massachusetts.
It may be.
We have been having some fun here, haunting some houses. That's something we like to do around Halloween.
We found a really good haunted house that we like to perform at. It's called Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It is in Abington.
Massachusetts.
And really, really wonderful place, wonderful people there.
Yes, we have had a lot of fun haunting with all of the spooks out there. So if you like to get scared and you're near Massachusetts and you're near Abington, come on by. We'll make you scream.
These folks also own a really cute restaurant just in front of the haunted house.
Yeah, lots of memorabilia there and interesting decor. We have also just been performing in Salem, Massachusetts. We did a program up at the Peabody Essex Museum for their Caps, Capes, and Characters Festival.
Right, we performed in Salem many times, but that was our first time at the museum.
Yes.
And I tell you, the Halloween celebrants were already out in force.
Sure are. So
if you followed us for a while, you may know that we've spent many Halloweens in Salem. And it's a great place to go for Halloween, although Halloween night itself is really, really packed.
Yeah.
But this was, even on the 13th, it was packed enough.
It sure is. It's the place to be for Halloween if you're really, really like the holiday.
And we met up with our friend Clinton, who is
another podcaster. Yes. He has the Comedy Forecast podcast. So big shout out to Clinton. Thanks for meeting up with us, and we had some fun. Hanging out and strolling the streets with Clinton.
And speaking of meeting up with people, we did a performance at the Ramsey Library, a repeat performance. We've been there many times, Ramsey, New Jersey, last month. And we had some fans come who've been following our podcast.
Yes, they drove quite a little ways to come out and see the show. So very happy that they could make the live show. We do have some live shows coming up in November. If you're in Delaware and you want to see us perform live, come to the library in Wilmington, Delaware on November 14th. That'll be a 10 a.m. show.
And again, Wilmington is another place we've been to many times, but they have a new library now, so we've never been.
Yeah, I think this is a temporary library while they're rebuilding the other library.
Rebuilding the library.
Right,
okay.
So check the website, get the address, and come by and see us November 14th in Wilmington. We've also got some shows coming up in Farmington, New Mexico, and out in California. Oh, and we are going to be in Rogers, Arkansas in spring. So we'll give you the rundown on those at the end of this podcast. But you know what? I can't wait. You know what I can't wait for?
What can't you not wait for?
I can't wait for the story. Can we start the story?
We can start the story. Okay.
Okay. This story is called The Husband Who Was to Mind the House. A story from Norway. Once upon a time, there was a man who was so bad-tempered and cross that he never thought his wife did anything right in the house. He was always complaining and nagging to her.
Nag, nag, nag. Complain, complain, complain.
One evening, in the haymaking time, he came home scolding and gnarling and showing his teeth and making a commotion. Now, dear, what's all the commotion and showing your teeth for? We haven't been audited.
Cutting hay is such hard work. I have to do it every day, all day long. And all you do is sit around the house all day.
Sit around? Is that what you call cleaning and cooking and ironing and churning butter?
There, you see? You get to sit down while you churn butter. I never get to sit down while I'm cutting hay. If you could take my place for a while, then you'd see why I get so grumpy.
Well, why don't we do it tomorrow? I'll go out and work in the fields, and you can stay at home and take care of the house. How does that sound?
Hey, that sounds like a winner to me.
So, the next morning the wife took off to work in the fields, and the man, after a leisurely breakfast, set out doing the household chores.
Oh, let me see now. First I'm supposed to churn the butter. Ah, here we go. Hey, this is a piece of cake. All I have to do is move this plunger thingy up and down.
But he discovered that it didn't go as fast as he expected.
Wow, I'm getting thirsty. I think I'll go down to the cellar and tap a keg of cider.
But no sooner did he open up the keg of cider when he heard a noise upstairs.
Oh no! Sounds like the pig got into the house. I didn't even know he had a key.
So he dropped what he was doing and ran up the stairs. Unfortunately, he didn't take the time to close the tap on the keg. So the cider drained all out, making a mess on the floor. And when he got upstairs...
Hey, Piggy, what are you doing? You knocked over my butter churn and ruined all my work. Sometimes you run around like a wild animal or something.
So he cleaned up the mess, and then he went out to the milk shed to get some more milk and start churning all over again.
Up, down, up, down. This gets boring after a while. Oh, I just remembered the cow needs to be let out to graze. Here, Bessie. I guess we got to get you out to pasture. Oh, but that's so far. That's going to throw me behind schedule even more. Wait a minute. I don't need to go all the way to the pasture. We have a thatched roof. We were into green living before it was cool. Now all I have to do is get her up onto the roof somehow. Let's see. We have a hill next to the house. I'll just find a good long board and put one end on the hill and the other end on the roof. I love it when I'm brilliant. And speaking of that, if I just tie that butter churn to my back and carry it around all day, it will churn itself and save me a lot of work.
So he strapped the churn onto his back, and then he went off to fetch a bucket of water from the well. But as he bent over...
Don't! Now what? The cream ran all down my back. Ooh. You'd think it's following gravity or something. Speaking of gravity, that cow looks like she's about to fall off the roof. I better get some rope and tie her up.
So, he tied one end of the rope to the cow's neck and dropped the other end down the chimney and went into the house to start cooking dinner, which would be served without butter. Then he tied the other end of the rope to his leg, so he would know if the cow needed him. But as he was beginning to get dinner ready, the cow slipped and fell off the roof, pulling him up into the chimney, where he was stuck like an upside-down Santa Claus.
Ouch! Help! Help! The cow has fallen and I can't get down.
And when the wife came home from the fields, she saw the cow hanging by a rope from the roof. What on earth? Oh, I've never heard of a cow bungee jumping. Oh, looks like she's stuck. Here, Bessie. Oh, don't worry. I'll cut you down. So she cut the rope, and the cow landed on its feet. Like a very large cat. Meanwhile, her husband also fell and landed with his head inside a pot.
Hello? Who turned out the lights?
Henry, what are you doing with that pot on your head? You're supposed to be cooking dinner, not playing around. I assumed my house would go to pot, but not my husband.
Help me get it off.
Oh, here you go.
Oh,
How on earth did that happen?
well, you see, I put the cow in the churn, and then I opened the keg of butter and lost the rope in the basement, and the roof fell in the well, and basically I really messed things up. How was your day, dear?
Oh, it was hard, but it doesn't sound as exciting as yours.
I have an idea. Let's stick to the jobs that we normally do.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think I like working outside the house.
But I don't like doing the housework, and I'm afraid if I keep doing it, we may not have a house left to work in.
Good point. Very well. We'll go back to what we were doing normally, at least for now. And so, from that day on, the husband was in a better mood when he came home.
La 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 la! Lucy, I'm home!
And he never criticized his wife again for staying at home. Oh, and by the way, they ate out that night.
And that's the story of the husband who was to mind the house from Norway. It's kind of amazing, realize that story is several centuries old, and back then it was just assumed that the woman would stay home and do the work, and the man would go out and work, and to suggest that the woman did a good job going out and working, and the man didn't do such a good job with the housework was really kind of...
Does that surprise you?
It's kind of revolutionary, I think, for that long ago.
For that long ago.
Yeah.
Things sure have changed now, that's for sure.
I do all the cooking.
Yes, you do. You do all the cooking. And you're a very good cook.
And we both do the working.
I do all the working.
Yeah. Now, we have November coming up, and November has some interesting things in it. It is, of course, Thanksgiving. We all know that one.
Thanksgiving, yes.
But it is also Native American Heritage Month.
Okay.
And the reason that we picked this story this time is that November 7th is National Men Make Dinner Day.
Hey, I knew there'd be a reason we picked this story. Okay, so if you don't already make dinner, then men, it's time for you to make dinner on November 7th.
November 2nd is Daniel Boone's birthday. November 3rd is the birthday of John Montague, the Earl of Sandwich, who is credited with inventing the sandwich. Not the Montague, but the sandwich. November 4th was when the first wagon train reached California.
If you are interested, we do have a good spooky story that we recorded in the past, and there's a story version that you can read on our website. It's a ghost story, if you want some more ghost stories, it's a ghost story of Gettysburg. So I'll put a link to that in the show notes if you're looking for some more spooky stories. And like I said, we do have some shows coming up across the country. Again, November 14th, we are in Wilmington, Delaware. And then we will be heading south, and we've got some school programs. So if you're in Florida, South Carolina, we've got programs down there, and we are booking more school shows in the southeastern states. There it is. In February, we're going to be in Rogers, Arkansas. So mark your calendar, because I know it's a little ways out yet, but I want to let you know now so you can mark your calendar. What day is it? February 23rd, we are going to be at the Rogers Library in Arkansas. And from there, we have a program in New Mexico. In March, we have got another library show there on March 14th. We have two shows. So there'll be an 11 o'clock show and a 1 o'clock show. All the kids are out there going to be on spring break. So come by the library. We've got two programs for you there for your spring break. And I think that's all I need to tell you about now. From there, we're going to be heading out west to California, and we've got some other shows coming up there in Belvedere, Tiburon, San Jose, so other places you can see us out in California as well. So lots of school shows right now. Like I said, like you can tell, we go from everywhere, from Massachusetts, Florida, all the way out to California. We're going to be up again in Washington this year. So let your school know, let your library know that we are coming and shows are available. Please give us a call, 800-429-6576, or visit our website, activatedstorytheater.com, for more information.
And remember, if you tie your cow to the roof, do not tie your leg to the other end of the rope.
Very good advice.
Yes, that's your advice for this month. So we'll see you next time.
We sure will.
Stay activated and boo.
Activated Story Theater is committed to bringing fun, educational shows to schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use physical comedy, American Sign Language, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring multicultural folktales to life. For booking information, check out our website, activatedstorytheater.com, where you can also find out when the activated actors will be performing near you, read a story, or order one of our audio CDs. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or listen on Stitcher. We look forward to your comments and folktale suggestions. Stay activated. Until next time.